أكبر.
Right now, millions of Muslims around the world are praying, and most of them are looking in the wrong place. Not the wrong direction, not the wrong posture, the wrong place. And according to the scholars who spent their entire lives studying the inner secrets of Salah, that one mistake is silently draining the spiritual reward from every single prayer. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where your gaze should be, why it matters more than most people ever understand, and what four of Islam's greatest scholars, Al-Ghazali, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn Al-Qayyim, and Ibn Kathir, said about the psychology of focus inside Salah. This is going to change how you pray, starting today. You have probably never been asked this question. You were taught how to pray, the positions, the words, the order. But nobody sat you down and asked you, where do your eyes go? When you're standing in qiyam, reciting al-Fatiha, hands folded, where exactly is your gaze? Most people don't know. Some look straight ahead at the wall. Some look down generally. Some close their eyes. Some, if they're being honest, are watching the brother in front of them adjust his thobe. And this is not a small question, because the scholars of this ummah agreed on something that most of us were never explicitly taught. The gaze is not cosmetic. The gaze is architecture. Where your eyes go determines where your heart goes, and where your heart goes determines whether Salah is an act of worship or simply an act of motion. The Prophet ﷺ gave us the answer directly. When standing in Salah, the gaze is directed toward the place of prostration, the exact spot on the ground where the forehead will touch. And this is not an isolated opinion. It is the documented Sunnah, narrated through Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, recorded in Bukhari and Muslim. She reported that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Looking around in Salah is something by which shaitan steals from a servant's prayer." And every scholar who examined it understood the same thing. The gaze is not a secondary detail. It is a door. In ruku', the gaze stays on the same prostration spot. In sujud, the eyes direct toward the tip of the nose. In tashahhud, the gaze fixes on the finger raised in shahada, a complete, deliberate, unbroken visual architecture from start to salam. The question is, why does it work? Four scholars answered that question. In the 11th century, Imam Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali wrote what many consider the most important book in Islamic history after the Quran and Ahadith collections, the Ihya Ulum ad-Din. And in it, Al-Ghazali dedicated an entire volume to what he called the secrets of Salah, the inner mechanics that determine whether a prayer is alive or hollow. His central thesis was this: strive for the presence of your heart in prayer, for it is the essence of prayer. The gaze, he argued, is the most direct path into the heart state, because the eye is not passive. The eye is not just receiving information, it is feeding the heart that information. Al-Ghazali then identified 6 inner conditions that must be present simultaneously for Salah to be spiritually alive: presence of the heart, understanding of what is being said, reverence, awe, hope, and shame, haya, the awareness of one's own shortcomings before Allah. 6 conditions, all internal, all invisible to anyone watching from outside. And he made an observation that should stop every Muslim cold. A person can perform every outward pillar of Salah with precision, the takbir, the ruku', the sujud, the tashahhud, and still leave that prayer carrying nothing, because the body completed the form, but the heart was never present for the meeting. 2 centuries after Al-Ghazali, Ibn Taymiyyah is in a prison cell in the Cairo citadel. His books had been burned, his students scattered, his freedom removed. And yet, Ibn Al-Qayyim, his student, recorded something Ibn Taymiyyah said from inside that cell. "What can my enemies do to me? My paradise is in my heart. It is with me wherever I go." Ibn Taymiyyah spent his scholarly life studying one root cause of spiritual dysfunction in the ummah: the imprisoned heart. He wrote, "The real prisoner is the one whose heart has been kept away from remembering his Lord, not the man behind walls. The man whose attention cannot reach Allah even when his body is facing the Qibla.
He observed that Muslims of his era had developed a critical confusion. They had mastered the form of Salah while losing control of the direction of the heart inside it. Standing, bowing, prostrating, sitting, all correct, all present, but the heart, in those 17 minutes, somewhere entirely else. He made a clinical observation that modern cognitive science would later confirm. The eyes are the first mover, and then, 3 seconds later, the heart is following them, thought by thought, world by world.
Ibn Taymiyyah's greatest student took this analysis one step further. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah, in his masterwork al-Wabil as-Sayyib, produced what is perhaps the most precise psychological map of Salah ever written by a Muslim scholar. He divided all of humanity into 5 levels with regard to their prayer. Level 5, the negligent, the one who doesn't complete wudu properly, doesn't pray on time, doesn't even fulfill the basic pillars. Ibn al-Qayyim said this person is punished. Level 4, the dutiful but defeated, the one who prays on time, makes wudu correctly, completes every posture, but shaitan overwhelms him with waswas, whispers, and he has no resistance. He is taken away with thoughts like a leaf in wind. This person, Ibn al-Qayyim said, is admonished. Level 3, the fighter. He prays correctly, he feels the whispers coming, he pushes back. His salah is a jihad, a battle fought on 2 fronts simultaneously, inside and outside at once. This person is redeemed. Level 2, the aware. He prays with full outward compliance, and his heart is present. He is alert. He is occupied not with fighting distraction, but with excellence. Rewarded. Level 1. Here is what Ibn al-Qayyim wrote about this person. He stands before Allah with his heart completely turned toward him. He is occupied solely with his Lord. The prayer has become, in his own words, the delight and pleasure of his eye. And then Ibn al-Qayyim made a statement that every Muslim who reads it remembers for the rest of their life. Whoever makes his prayer the delight of his eye in this world, Allah will make nearness to him the delight of his eye in the hereafter. Now notice where the progression moves. From level 5 to level 1, the entire journey is inward. The body doesn't change, the words don't change, the direction doesn't change. What changes is where the eyes go, and then what the heart follows.